Good day, ladies and gents, fellow traders. Alex Morrison with Precious Times here. Our show is all about the multi-billion-dollar commodity market. Today we focus on an incredibly valuable commodity. What makes it so fantastic? Well, it conducts heat and electricity better than any other metal. Over 50% of its demand comes from the industrial use. Can you guess what commodity I'm talking about? Well, I'll give you one more clue. The solar industry uses it to turn sunlight into energy. You've guessed it by now. Yep, I am talking about silver. The precious metal closely tracks the global GDP growth. Over half of the world's silver is mined and supplied by just 5 countries. They are Mexico, Peru, China, Australia, and Chile. The stats are impressive. Peru has the largest silver reserves in the world at 93,000 metric tons. And is followed by Austria, Poland, and Russia. The global supply of silver is around 991 million ounces, whilst the demand is around 1 billion ounces. Now, let's take a look at how silver is used. Silver has been known for thousands of years and always carried a strong value in barter and money for commodity economies. The Romans used it as a basis of their monetary system, and it was the most popular form of money for centuries. Huge silver deposits were found in the South Americas in the 1800s. After that, there was a glut on the market. The glut diluted its value. Gold replaced silver as the main type of monetary exchange. Now, these days, silver has a different type of value. Around 600 million tons of silver is used in the global industries like solar panels, electrical, and electronic goods. Your smartphone contains silver because of its outstanding electrical conductivity. Silver's ability to conduct heat and electricity makes it the most valued commodity in the growing solar panel industry. Now, as you can see, that without silver, most industrial processes wouldn't even work. In spite of its importance, silver's price depends on economic growth. It's also seen as a safe haven investment. In 2008, there was a financial crisis in the United States, which spread to the rest of the world. Now, silver's price started rising in the summer of 2008, and so it went from $9 to around $48.50 by the fourth quarter of 2011. Now, why did silver climb so high? Well, during the financial crisis, there was a record demand for silver coins. In 2011, the U.S. Federal Reserve also started quantitative easing. In other words, it increased the amount of money in circulation. And many investors saw the Fed's decision as an inflationary risk and decided to buy physical silver, of course, to hedge their bets. Around the same time, the solar industry took off. Report after media report talked about the huge growth expected in the photovoltaic panels. Silver became a hot favorite. Imagine what it was like for investors in 2011. The global economy was in meltdown. European Union seemed to be on the verge of collapse. Country after country needed bailouts to save their banking and financial systems. The United States was in recession. Stock markets were unpredictable because banks kept failing and growth was negative. Industrial growth was in decline, but silver maintained and increased its value because it was a tangible precious metal and you could hold it in the palm of your hand. Now, financial pain in the markets added to silver's attraction and the price peaked. Even the Romans might have been surprised at its value. It was a highly unusual situation. In actual numbers, the supply of silver was 6 times more than the demand. But because the markets were so depressed and investors felt so low, animal spirits took over and silver's price was inflated. The US economy started improving in 2012 and industry started growing again. Ironically though, silver's price, of course, started declining. At the end of 2012, it fell around $27 an ounce. By the end of 2013, it was around $19 an ounce. And at the time of recording our show in 2018, silver was trading at around $15 an ounce. It hasn't gone as low as its 2008 price of $9 though. So what does the future hold for silver? The global economy is growing. China, Russia, and India are maintaining relatively strong growth rates, and these are all heavily industrialized countries. The EU and the US are in growth territory, meaning their industries have been better prospects and more investor confidence. Solar energy seems to be fulfilling its potential, meaning that silver will likely stay in demand. And in this situation, demand and supply are steady, so the price is relatively stable. But what about threats to the silver supply? Mine supplies are forecast to rise slightly in 2018 and then decline, so that's something to factor in. There are indeed threats to demand for silver too. Jewelry demand for the precious metal is relatively low. Plus, the demand for the physical bars and coins is flat compared to 2011. So what do you think about silver's future? We'd love to hear from you. Post your answers in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. This was Alex Morrison with Precious Times.